Guys, this whole thing of democracy is a smoke screen of lies. Because even in countries where they are claiming democracy, they are enjoying more freedom in Africa than we can enjoy in their own country. And I don't know why we are so much scared of dealing with the devil once and for all. And you tell this message to all my white brothers from Germany and from South Africa. If you are not careful the way you handle land, you are going to leave your children with a snake in the back. Because these young people you see here, one day when they wake up and they ask each other, where is our land? After being to Australia and they are told you are illegal immigrant. They go to America and they are told you are an alien. They go to Britain and they are told you are a foreigner. And they come back home here and they are landless. Your own children, you will turn in your grave as our children will start victimizing your children. If you are smart enough to hear a fool, start making arrangements to relinquish some of the land into the black hands, to diffuse the anger of the people. Use democracy to bribe them and be nice to them when they can still listen. Because time will come when you will want to talk and will not want to talk. You'll want to negotiate and will not want to negotiate. Maximize on time. And as far as land is concerned, gentlemen, we don't have to apologize for what rightfully belongs to us. The African does not own his land. The land owns him. From it we have come. To it we shall return. I owe my allegiance to the soil where I come from, because soil is spiritual. That's where my history is. That's where my forefathers are buried. I eat from it. I drink from it. My history is written in the land. And whoever owns my land owns my blessings. Because when it rains, God has blessed me. If I don't have access to land, I don't have access to existence. Therefore, every man must have two wives. The first wife is land. And the second wife is the one who will make children for you. If you don't have land, you don't have a right to reproduction. Because you cannot sleep with your wife on WhatsApp. You can't sleep with her on Facebook. You need an address. You need an address. Land. Land is the address that legitimizes even making children. That's why when lions walk around the bush, they lift up their legs and they mark their territories. And after they've marked their territories, then they start reproducing. Are animals now better than us? That we fail to have access to our own spaces so that we can reproduce after our own selves. I challenge SWAPO to deal with land issues violently. Take off those bloody gloves. Get down to business. But be strategic, be thoughtful, be mindful, be future-seeing, and put strategies that will work. But no matter how long you wait, sweet talking around land, it will boil down to one thing. Who will ultimately be the owner of the land? So I would want to respect that by policy, let's keep the land as state land. Let people lease it from us as they work. And let us constantly be in control, because this is one of the only assets that we have as a nation. And sooner or later we must discover who is our enemy and who is our friends. This is how I want you to think. This is how I want you to feel. This is how I want you to do. You guys went to war. And you did not go to war to fight for democracy. We didn't go to war so that we wanted to share toilets. No, we can build our own toilets. We went to war because we wanted to restore land. Number one. We wanted power away from those that were oppressing us and to have it to ourselves. I'm talking this as a Pan-Africanist. This has been the weakness of all African governments, all of them. They went to war to fight for land. When they were there, they started organizing governments and they made themselves the kings while they were at war. And when they came back, they assumed the instruments of colonial power systems, and they started to become the drivers of the same system which had oppressed them. I'm not mixing my words. So we came back with presidents when we went to war with kings. And when they came back, they sat on the same chair, that the colonialist was sitting. They became the ministers of health to manage the same health system, ministers of education to manage the same education system, ministers of water to manage the same water policies. Even as we speak today, we still have the red line zones in Namibia where goods cannot move freely. In a country we call a country, but you cannot cross over with avocados and beef. You cannot cross this line. And you sit back and say, who drew this line? A bunch of some Boeros and German guys who said, no, if you allow goods from the north to come down here, then the businesses of the south will die. We are the monopoly holders of business in Windhoek. You can't allow cheap things from the north to come, and those red lines are still there. And we talk about manifestos, we talk about policy change, and yet the devil in the room still looks at us. And to tamper with it, we all want to tiptoe and put golden gloves when we begin to talk about these real issues that matter.